Mines and Money London, welcome ladies and gentlemen, 2019 here, and with me now is PolarX, and Frazer Tabeart, the Managing Director, wants to give us an insight and of course an update on his terrific company. Well, good morning Frazer.
Good morning, nice to be back.
Can you shortly remind us, PolarX, where are you based, what are you doing?
Yeah, so we're listed in Australia and we're domiciled effectively in Perth, but our project's in Alaska, in the United States of America, so it's a bit of a long haul on the aeroplane.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting copper and gold project. We have two small but very high-grade resources already delineated. We plan to grow both of those.
Okay.
But then we also have some much larger targets for porphyry copper style mineralisation. So we're looking for something,
something
global
big
scale. Yeah.
Okay, so before we dive into the projects, I think one major event happened this year to your company, and that was that Lundin is now a large shareholder.
Yeah.
How did that happen? What have you done for that?
So Lundin Mining Corporation is now our largest shareholder. They own about 12.8% of the company. So we'd been speaking to them since about this time last year, on the back of results that we put out in 2018. I think they and a number of other companies were looking at the work that we were doing, and I think they recognised that we were generally onto a possible porphyry copper district. So we spent a lot of time negotiating with them, and very pleased to say we formed a strategic partnership with them in June this year. And effectively under that, they've invested money into PolarX.
How much did they invest?
So they invested $3 million. $3
million, nice. Okay.
Became our largest shareholder.
Yeah.
And we agreed with them that we would use the proceeds of that funding to evaluate the two highest priority porphyry targets that we had. And then they had until the end of this calendar year to make an election whether to go into an earning phase at the project level. So it's effectively an option on an option.
Yeah.
So we're now, within the next 6 weeks, we'll hear what their decision is for next year. And if they go forward next year, then they make a series of staged cash payments to PolarX, and just as importantly, a series of staged exploration expenditures into the ground. So if that went through the full path over a 3-year period, they'd invest $24 million into the ground.
Oh, that's a lot.
And we'd get staged cash payments, ultimately up to $20 million if they go all the way to crystallising a joint
And how
venture.
much would they then earn in, and
So
what leaves with you?
Yeah, so that would be for them to earn 51%.
Okay.
And then it would become...
In the property, but not in the company.
Correct. Yeah. And then we'd become a contributing joint venture.
Okay, fantastic. Can you give us a bit more of a sense, of a feeling? What are your targets? What resources you have so far? What are the grades? What do they look like?
So we've got two very different opportunities here. We've got two existing small but very high grade resources. So one of them is 2.8 million tonnes at 3% copper.
Ooh, wow.
Which is good.
At surface or
yep, that's at surface. That one is a VMS style of deposit, and a number of quite complex lenses, but we're very confident we can increase the size of that. Then the other one that we have is a skarn deposit called Zackley, and that's about 3.5 million tonnes at 1.2% copper and 2 grams gold, and about 14 grams silver. So, on a copper equivalent basis, that's getting similar in grade to Caribou Dome. So, we know that's too small, but we know, we have 1 kilometre of strike length in resource, but we have much thicker intersections at least 850 metres further to the east. So we know that's going to increase in size. It just requires more drilling.
This you have to work on.
Yeah,
super.
But then the other sort of the bigger opportunities we're looking at are porphyry copper opportunities, and they can be many hundreds of millions of tonnes, and but generally at much lower grade. So sort of an ore grade for porphyry copper might be as low as 0.35, 0.4% copper. So we've done some drilling on 2 targets using Lundin's money and working with them on that this year. And we announced results last week from one of the holes on one of our prospects called Mars. And the bottom 100 metres of that hole hit porphyry copper style mineralisation, averaging over 0.2% copper and about 0.1 gram per tonne gold. So, and the geology sort of indicates that we're not quite in the core of the system. We know the grades can go up a bit there. So for us, that's a question now of getting back in next year and drilling a lot more holes around that to find out what's there.
Okay, super. So you said Alaska. Alaska, of course, we have the understanding living here on this funny little island called Europe. It's very remote. What does it look like in your area?
Yeah,
do you have some infrastructure? Do you have to fly in, fly out? How does it work?
No, look, yeah, I mean, people say it's remote. I mean, I've worked in Africa and I've worked in Australia, and yeah, to be perfectly honest, where we are is not. I wouldn't consider it to be remote. You know, we can drive to the project from Anchorage in 6 hours.
Oh, that's okay. That's decent.
Yeah, and 90% of that is on good quality sealed road. It's only really the last 15 miles that are on gravel road, and we can drive right up to the drill rigs at 2 of our prospects.
Yeah.
We tend to use helicopters just for ease. The Mars where we drilled that one good hole, that is helicopter access only at this stage. Now, if you made a major discovery, putting a road in there isn't going to be a major issue. And there is existing infrastructure. There's high voltage power. Further to the west of the project, there's a railway line. So if we made a major discovery, there is existing infrastructure that would allow you to bring power into the mine then export concentrate.
That's for sure. So, I could imagine you get also support from the government then, because that would give a lot of jobs, taxes, all that stuff, right?
Yeah. And we've got access then to deep water ports that are, you're effectively in northern Asia from that point of view. So you've got smelters in Japan, Korea, as well as mainland United States. So there's plenty of options.
And they need in the future your metal. That's for sure. Okay, coming to 2020, what is the major target you want to achieve?
Yeah, so there's 2 things we want to do. One is we want to obviously push forward with that discovery at Mars and really take that through to the next stage, which is trying to block out something that it's clearly going to become a resource. And there's the other target that we drilled there, Saturn. There's unfinished business there. We're very confident we're going to get a discovery there. But at the same time, we also, using our own funding, want to push forward with increasing the size of that Zackley resource, and that's kind of then an insurance policy, for want of a better word. It gives us potentially something that is of mineable scale. And would underwrite a valuation in the company, significantly higher than we currently are. So those are our sort of two goals.
Super, perfect. Last question. Lundin 12.5% now the stake. What has management? Who other major shareholders do you have?
So management owns between us about 12.5%.
Nice.
So that's a good solid chunk.
Yeah.
But then we've been very strongly supported, particularly out of London and the United States. So our next 3 largest shareholders, that will own sort of 7.5 to 8.5% as JP Morgan, US Global, and Ruffer Gold Fund.
Okay.
And then some also strong institutional support from Lowell Resources Fund in Australia. So, it's largely been wholesale funded to date using institutional support.
Fantastic,
One of the reasons we come back to London every year at this time of year is we can meet those shareholders and give them an update on the end of the season.
Fantastic. Well, Frazer, thank you very much. All the best for 2020. Merry Christmas, because 3.5 weeks we are on that. And I would say keep it going, because this world needs more copper, gold and silver, of course. You have the security metals and you have the energy metals, I would call it, and e-mobility metals. And keep the drills turning. And we got to look forward to hear more good news from you.
Yeah, great. Thanks very much. Look forward to it.
Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there was PolarX Frazer Tabeart, the Managing Director, and you heard it, gold and copper and silver in Alaska, and it looks like they are right in front of the next major discovery, hopefully here. Lundin already stepped into the game here, bought 12.5% of the company, $3 million already, but there's an option on an option, like a huge earn-in agreement. So this is how exploration should be. Really look at the ground, and when you start to find something, then you team up with some big major companies who can help you out there, because exploration costs a lot of money, but it is absolutely necessary to secure the supply of the future. So check out the company. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from London.